Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at Delta Effex Delta 8 1000 milligram THC. As with any product we review here on the BuzWeaver channel, understand that this is based upon my own personal experience and my review. If you are considering any product that's reviewed here on the channel, please consult your medical physician as they know your medical history, drug interactions, and allergies. And of course, this product has not been approved by the FDA for any use in treatment of a disease or known illness. If you guys are new to the channel and or these new Delta 8 reviews, below this video, and if you're watching here on YouTube, you'll find them up here in the top right-hand corner, will be videos to the introductory guide as well as a beginner's guide that explains the 2018 Farm Bill, how THC is extracted from hemp as well as CBD and other hemp extracted products, how it affects the body, how your body metabolizes. So if you want all of those critical details, you can find links to them below this video. And of course, if you're here on YouTube, I'll have them pinned for you up there in that top right-hand corner. All right, guys, so welcome to the review portion of the video. As with most of these types of reviews, YouTube requires that we do the introductions with the disclaimers, as well as the fact that this video will be age restricted, unfortunately, because Delta 8 hemp extracted products are not legal in every state in the United States. Nonetheless, today we are looking at Delta Effex 1000 milligram THC Sativa specifically. And we'll go into details about the Sativa, Indica, and hybrid here in a moment. But nonetheless, I just wanted to talk about the Delta Effex and my experience. And I like the fact that it is a Sativa. This way I know exactly how to base certain distinctions from other brand products that I have taken to kind of get an idea of which I think kind of works best for me, and or just to get a sense of distinction between Sativa, Indica, and the hybrid. Now, I had an exchange with a different vendor and we talked about Sativa, Indica, and hybrid and how the industry is kind of moving away from those particular labels and focusing more on the terpenes, which is more based upon the effect of the product. So with this particular product, on the back, you will see a QR code next to or above the labeling here, as well as on the box. If you guys want to know the batch number, information, what's all inside of your product, that's a great way to do it. The Delta Effex website is very intuitive, so you guys can navigate around it quite well and see all the different Delta 8 offering products that they have. Now, this particular one is a tincture, and of course, I have been doing tinctures for quite some time because I'm not really into smoking the product. But nonetheless, my experience with Delta 8 Effex has been quite pleasant. This is a peppermint flavored sativa, and the first couple of times it does taste like peppermint, and then I have found that afterwards it has more of a double bubble bubblegum flavor to it. But of course, not really taking it for the flavor, nonetheless the effects. So if you are starting off with Delta 8 for the very first time, you are a neophyte to this particular product or THC, even though you may have taken CBD, I would encourage all of you for the very first time to take just 2 drops. If you're taking at 1000 milligrams, I would definitely say just 2 drops. Wait at least 3.5 hours minimum before you consider taking more. It can take a little bit of time for it to take effect. And if you're taking it for the first time, I find that it takes almost 3.5 to 4 hours before you actually experience any of the effects. And I think for more experienced individuals, you might feel it as soon as 2 hours, but it may still take the 3.5 hours nonetheless. But for me personally, I find that going with the lower dosages is far better of an experience than going with the recommended or even the half amount recommended. And what I mean by that, apparently there were some people that were a little confused on my nascent iodine when I say drops versus dropper or a pipette. So each of the products come with a what most people know as a dropper, as you see here, the squeeze at the top. It is actually called a pipette. And the pipette has markations on it to let you know up to 1 milligram and or 0.5 milligrams. So when you fill it up or halfway fill it up, just test it with the bottle first. So in other words, fill the pipette or halfway, and then just use the dropper to get a sense of how much you would need to squeeze it to get those actual individual drops. Because of course it is going to be important that if you're taking it for the first time, that you go with just about 2 drops, I would say, with the 1000 milligram. Now, what I think is interesting about this is because it is a sativa. And this kind of gave me an idea of what the other products that I have been taking made me feel like versus a sativa. So with the Delta EFX being a sativa, I did have much more of a clear-headed sense of focus with a little bit of body lift. Not a whole lot because I don't take a lot. Now, if I do take the recommended or even have to recommend it and I get to say like an impaired state, it's not particularly pleasant. But what I can say about the sativa is at least I don't get nearly the dull kind of headache, because basically the way I feel if I take Delta 8 as recommended, I often get kind of like almost a sensation of a hangover, like a very light, mild hangover, sinus pressure, kind of like an allergy reaction, almost like an allergic reaction that I get from, say, hay fever, freshly cut grass, or pollen season here in Georgia, which is terrible. If you live in Georgia, you understand what I'm saying. So that's kind of how it kind of makes me feel, unfortunately. So even with the different brands that I've taken at different potencies, if I just take a little more or at recommended amounts or maybe a little more and I get to that full effect sense, it just isn't as pleasant as taking it at a minimum. Now, I've not tried Delta 10 to kind of get an idea about that, or the new THO, which is supposed to be, what, 300 times stronger than what they've been experimenting with. And it's interesting because it goes back to the 1940s. I was watching a video by The Strange Show. He has great information, by the way, when it comes to these particular products. He's very informative, very detailed, goes into a lot of the aspects of the new THO. And I just found it to be interesting. I haven't tried Delta 10, but I'm going to. So Delta EFX, great product, great company and business. I like their product. It's clean. I could see my batch number. I could see everything that was in my particular bottle here when I checked the site, along with the QR code. So safe, effective. I like it. I've not tried any of their other products yet, but I did have a very good experience with this particular sativa versus, say, a hybrid or an indica. So if for some reason, like the other day when I went with the full dropper, wasn't particularly a pleasant experience, but it wasn't as bad as if it were a hybrid or an indica, where if I've taken the full amount. I don't get kind of the sense of that with gummies or edibles. But again, I would always emphasize to you guys taking it for the first time, go easy on it. However, I do think that the sativa is a good marker for me. I think it's the way it makes me feel, gives me that sense of clear-headedness. I would not necessarily take this several hours before you go to bed, because it does kind of give you a sense of alertness and awareness, so you can be a little hyped up. It usually lasts about 4.5 to 5 hours before it kind of starts to really fade away. But typically I take it in the evening times to kind of unwind and just relax. So it's not really much of an issue. It seems to be okay to mix with other brands if you want to go with, say, like if you're about to go to sleep and you want to take it a couple hours before you go to bed, for example, a lesser potency, then you're more than fine to be able to do that. I haven't had any negative experiences mixing the different brands and the different potencies, but certainly the sativa is going to give you a much more clearer sense of focus. You can be impaired, but you will be alert, you will be focused, and it's certainly not something you'd want to take several hours before you go to bed, without a doubt. The other brands you can take, say like if they are indica or a hybrid, you can take those as sleep aid. They all seem to work really well for sleeping eventually when you get to that point where you are going to want to go to sleep. The next day kind of pretty much burns all off, so any negative experiences you may have, like I did with the other day, after about 4 to 5 hours it wears off. And if you do take a little too much of it and you have CBD, by all means take a full dropper of CBD that you have, and that will help kind of mitigate those effects, or allows you to kind of regain your balance and your sobriety a little quicker. So that's just kind of a little tip there. Also drink some water. But for the most part, you know, if you just get to a point where you just feel a little overwhelmed, just relax, take it easy, maybe lay down, sit in a comfortable chair, just take it easy and give it about 4 to 5 hours. It will eventually wear off. But my experience with Delta 8 THC 1000 milligrams has been fantastic. Absolutely a great product, reasonably priced, and I would highly recommend it if you wanted to try out a Delta 8 product. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this look at Delta EFX. Delta 8 THC 1000 milligrams. If you haven't already, below this video, you'll find my various social media links where I post daily information and or just general post overall, as well as alt tech, if you guys want to follow me on alt tech, because we're not able to post these types of videos, shorts, or even the thumbnails on TikTok at all. We will get a community guideline strike. So of course the community it's interesting covering Delta 8 because of the particular restrictions that YouTube have. But nonetheless, guys, of course, if you're seeing this on YouTube, you can click on the channel icon appearing right there on the screen to subscribe, along with notifications that we know when there's additional reviews on the channel, as well as the Friday vlog and other content here on the channel. And I will see you guys right there behind the camera in the next review.